awesome. I'm absolutely in awe with him. And so are a lot of other people, I'm sure. You look at someone like that has this sense of confidence and this air about himself, and you admire it. So I don't see any disability. I just think I see just an amazing person.
और ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਲੋਕ ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੈ?
ਕਰਦੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕਰਦੇ।
Having managed to make a good initial impression, Romeo and his parents are keen to find out if his talents could appeal to an American television audience.
See, Romeo?
West Hollywood is the home of one of the entertainment industry's most renowned variety performance agents.
Oh, hi!
Known as the Wizard of Oz, Chuck Harris has been in showbiz for over 40 years.
Chuck Harris is the largest supplier of visual variety performers in the world. Do you know who this person is?
Queen.
That's the Queen of England.
Queen.
Queen.
And this is also?
That's the father of the president. George Bush.
George Bush.
Right. You can't make it today in our business to be a variety act unless you're with Chuck Harris. I know that's a very big statement. It's a very egotistical statement, but it's the truth. Come, I'll show you some more stuff. But look at the toys over there.
Right.
In my roster, I have over 10,000 of the most unusual variety performers in the world. I look for the act that is the best, the one of a kind.
Yes.
Good. Very good. Terrific. This kid is great. He is a talented young man. Very, very talented young man. Explain to him what I said. Do you understand talent? Do you understand money? He should be working all the time. This is a very talented kid. Give me five. Give me five. Oh!
What was the first thing you thought when you saw Romeo?
Cha-ching, cha-ching. I think there's money here.
Good dancer.
There's money in whatever you want, if you know how to sell the product.
With showbiz connections all over the world, Chuck is content that Romeo's unique selling points could be globally marketable.
He has inherently the talent and the ability. He has the want, and he has the unfortunate affliction of being a very, very small person.
Anil is anxious for his son to have as many opportunities as possible and has accepted an offer from Chuck to help Romeo find work.
ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੜੇ ਹੋਨੈਸਟ ਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀਰੀਅਸ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੂਗਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਦਿਵਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੋ ਬਾਕੀ ਕੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਜੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ
One of Romeo's next meetings is with the talent scouts of one of the greatest shows on earth. Primordial dwarf Romeo Dev and his parents are in Los Angeles to try and further his career. Knowing very little about their son's rare condition, they also have the opportunity to seek expert medical advice for the first time.
This is a form of, it's 4 words, and it actually does a good job describing what the disorder is. It's microcephalic, which is small head, osteodysplastic, which is abnormal sort of small bones, primordial, which means its onset is in utero. It's very early. and dwarfism.
In a short way, we call it moped, M-O-P-E-D.
He is hard to believe, even smaller than most of the children I've seen with this as adults. So for 19, he's on the small side even for this disorder. He has many of the features that are seen among people who have this disorder. You know, his face is a little bit different than your face, right? These very small little teeth that almost look like baby teeth is characteristic of the disorder. His skin is thicker, and the shape of his fingers where they're not square at the end. They're pointed. They're pointed.
And it's inherited from both sides of the family.
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ genetically hereditary ਤੋਂ ਆ ਦੋਨੇ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਤੋਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ.
In many communities, when things like this happen, they believe that they've somehow been cursed, they've done something wrong. A portion of these children have a brain abnormality called moya moya, which is a Japanese word for a puff of vessels. That because everything is small, their vessels that feed their brain and their other organs are also very narrow.
So that requires an MRI angiogram to detect.
Is a special test MRI ਦਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ.
The good news is he's gotten to 19 and hasn't had any complications from that. But, you know, if you asked me in a perfect world, what were the things that we would worry about and do? One, we would worry about making sure that he doesn't have these narrow vessels in his brain, because if they're there, one would always worry that you could have a stroke just like an old person has narrow vessels.
ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ।
ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਾ? ਔਰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਡਰ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ? ਨਾ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਹੀਂ।
ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਜੈਨੇਟਿਕ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਜੈਨੇਟਿਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ।
ਔਰ ਇਸ ਦਾ MRI ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, ਅਤੇ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਰੈਗੂਲਰ ਕਰਾ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਅਤੇ ਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਜੀਵਨ ਇਹਦਾ ਜੀਵੇ ਇਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
In recent years, Western media has given primordial dwarfism increased exposure, making the public more aware of the rare condition. Knowledge about dwarfism in India is very limited. Neither Romeo or his parents are aware of any other primordial dwarfs in the world.
Hello, Romeo. It's so nice to meet you. Yeah. Very nice to meet you.
Gary Parker has been photographing primordial dwarfs for over 15 years and has invited Romeo to see some of his work.
My mission with dwarfism is to enlighten the world. I firmly believe that familiarity breeds acceptance. Bridget is much smaller than you. She is 17 pounds.
17 pounds.
But she's 19 years old. She's very sweet. Tiny, 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 this big.
This is the first time Romeo has been made aware of other people with his condition.
Bridget is very mature. She's a senior in high school. And Bradley is a gymnast.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Gymnast. He does flips. Kennedy is probably the most famous primordial dwarf in the world. She has a television feature called Kennedy's World. And this is Kristen Riley. Now she's graduated from college. And the oldest primordial that we know about is around 50. And she's fine. She's fine. Right this way.
Gary has invited Romeo to take part in the production of a photography book celebrating the lives of primordial dwarfs.
Nice, nice. There it is, yes. The integrity of how you present these people is really important. The last thing I would ever want to participate in would be anything resembling a freak show.